Alright, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today we are talking about the Glasgow Derby, about said Haksabanovic, about Alexandro Bernabei, and that should be that. And you guys know the drill, we are going around the news. Before we go any further though, if you guys are enjoying the content and you want to help support the channel, the best way to do so is to click the like button, click the subscribe button. Best way to help support the channel grow, especially clicking that subscribe button, and I thank you all for help supporting me. But without further ado, let's get into it. So firstly, want to apologize. It might seem a bit dull, a bit dark right now. My light died. I have a little light that I put behind the camera. That's died. Hopefully it's not too bad, and I don't seem, like a shadow on a wall, but just a little disclaimer. Anyways, Derby allocations. Always a contentious topic to talk about, and that's the great thing about the Celtic fan base. Because in the Celtic fan base, there are a lot of things, everyone agrees on, right? But there are also a lot of things that divide the support, and it's always great to see, people challenging each other's opinions, and, just not to see everyone conforming to have the same one opinion, because that would just get quite a bit boring. Anyways, well, today, Celtic confirmed that Rangers will be allocated roughly 900 tickets for the upcoming match at Celtic Park. Now, this number has, changed quite a bit over the last four years, I'd say. Because during the early stages of the Brendan Rodgers era, we were seeing numbers of 8,000, and that was the norm, right? 8,000 away tickets allocated, it was a decent amount, and it would offer a great atmosphere. Then we, in true Celtic fashion, pumped Rangers quite a few times, and especially at Ibrox. So that led to, the club reducing the away allocation down to 800, which is the figure we are seeing roughly nowadays. So that was in place for a few years. Celtic obviously matched that, and we've been seeing that. Then COVID hit. COVID hits. No fans allowed. Then we start getting fans back in, and Rangers decide to not give Celtic any tickets purely because we couldn't 100% definitely agree that we could give Rangers allocation as well because of the uncertain nature in regards to COVID, which seemed a bit stupid. But for two derbies last season, we naturally saw a packed out Ibrox of blue and a packed out Celtic Park with green only. Then the numbers got back to where they are, and here we are today at roughly 900 allocated away fans. So will we see a return to the pre-Brendan Rodgers era numbers? Who knows, right? The decision ultimately lies with the Ibrox club, because at the end of the day, Celtic have taken the stance and are unwilling to budge that we will match whatever Rangers give as the allocated away, and we're not here to decide, and we're not here to be embarrassed either, so we will match whatever they are willing to give. So, to sum up, really, do expect a small contingent of Rangers fans at Celtic Park on Saturday the 3rd of September, but, don't expect them to make enough noise to really silence the deafening noise that Celtic Park makes and the Celtic fans make. Anyways, that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about Ange, because Big Ange, our leader, he was pressed, I guess we could say, in the press conference. A bit ironic that Ange was pressed. Anyways, firstly, we'll get the transfer talk out of the way. He was asked about said Haksabanovic, and Ange, he really refused to give anything away. He said, "I think we've been linked with a player every time I've done one of these. If and when we announce it, we announce it. As I've said all along, we're agile. We're looking for the right person to bring in. If that right person is available and we can do a deal, we'll do a deal. But nothing's really changed on that front. I've been pretty consistent. Just check my press conferences. I said if we can get a player who can play in a variety of positions, it's just got to be the ideal player." Now, this is in response, obviously, to the growing links between Celtic and Haksabanovic, with him set to undergo a medical in the coming days down in London, with that being reported by the Scottish Sun. Also, reports have came out of Russia saying Ruben Kazan have conceded the fact that he will transfer to Celtic, and they will not receive upwards of the 5.5 to 6 million pounds they originally paid for him. It will be more likely half of that, to be honest. So clearly, this deal is slowly becoming more of a when, not if sort of deal. And interestingly so, last time Ange was asked about potential links and transfers, he explicitly said, "We have not made contact with any of the players we have been linked to in the media." Well, not exactly that, but something along those lines. That was the message. But that comment wasn't made this press conference, so it's a bit of an interesting one, because you could say, Ange just doesn't want to repeat himself, or you could take it with a bit of, you could try and read between the lines and think, okay, well, he didn't deny the rumours, but he didn't agree them, so it probably is going to happen. And, Ange is never one to give away transfers before they actually happen. So, that wasn't all, however. Ange also made comment on potential departures to leave Celtic in the final few days of the transfer window, singling out one player specifically. It's about trying to find opportunities for these guys to play, if they're not going to get opportunities here. Particularly around, say, Mikey Johnston. I'm really keen for him to get some game time. I think Mikey is an outstanding talent. He just hasn't been able to get a good run of games. I think in a different environment where I think he can start realising the potential we know he has. He's training well. They're all training. If opportunities arrive over the next 10 days for players, we will definitely look at it. So Mikey Johnston, hopefully he gets a move away, especially considering if Haksabanovic comes in, that just pushes Mikey Johnston even further down the pecking order than he already is at. Now, this isn't me speaking from a financial standpoint for the club getting him off the wage list. I am purely speaking right now for the sake of Mikey Johnston's career. He needs to go somewhere else. He cannot keep sitting on the sidelines at Celtic. He's 23 years old. Sure, he has still a long career ahead of him, but he's still in these development stages, and you can't develop by sitting on the sidelines and not participating in matches and getting that intense game time, which really ultimately is what does best for your development as a footballer. So hopefully we can get him on loan somewhere where he is guaranteed game time, because there is talent there, no questions asked, but he just hasn't been able to consistently perform and show that talent for Celtic, and it doesn't look like he'll get an opportunity to this season either. Now, third and finally, Alexandro Bernabei, and we're not spending a whole video on him talking about my opinions on the incident, because I've already made a video on that, which you could go check out. I think it's the second or third most recent video on my channel. Anyways, if you want to know that, you can go watch that. But here we are just looking at what Ange had to say on the matter, because naturally he was going to be asked a question about this in the press conference. And he said, yeah, there was an incident earlier in the week. Now there are processes taking place both externally and internally, and when they come to a conclusion, we'll take the appropriate measures. He's training and available for Sunday. So a very stock standard, PR sort of response. But the main thing to take away from it is that he is available for Sunday and he is training. So he hasn't been ousted from the club by no means, which a lot of people were calling for. Regardless, he probably won't feature anyways, purely because of the form of Greg Taylor. Unless something really unfortunate happens to Greg Taylor prior to the match or during the match, it's safe to say I think we will see Bernabei on the bench for the whole match. Regardless, it's clear that the club are only going to talk about this matter if absolutely necessary. I don't think they'll make any more comment on it, to be honest with you. Or, I just think it's something that they don't want to look at, because I'm not getting into this now. I'm stopping myself before we say anything else. But yeah, I do think it's the right approach from the club to just make that small comment and leave it at that. Let the football do the talking. But that is all from me. So if you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your thoughts on anything I mentioned or talked about throughout the video. And until next time, hail, hail.